Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Vernuccio. I am part of Group 6, and our case analysis was Is the World Flat? And I'd like to take a few moments to discuss the following: one, our team's viewpoint; two, what is the potential impact for students, perhaps like ourselves, searching for a position; three, the preparational materials that students can rely on or have access to; four, as well as identifying some other current flatteners that are not mentioned by Friedman in this case analysis. So let's begin. Our team does agree that the world is flat. There is an interesting mention Friedman shares, and the statement reads just as follows: The global economic playing field is being leveled, and you, as Americans, are just not ready. Friedman is referring to the simple fact that us as Americans are not prepared. We're not prepared, and we are dependent as a country on different nations. In this case study, not only does Friedman refer to the same idea, but also describes the world being as a size medium, and then later refers to the world being a size small. It was only after the year 2000 that globalization kept reducing its size from small to tiny. For example, international states can make long distance phone calls, right? By using a calling card. And a calling card, you can buy a calling card for $5 and have 5 hours to speak to any family member, relative, friend, or so from another country. And as the trend of calling cards, or after the trend of calling cards, came the internet. Now let's think of some ways how we communicate now, right? If you wanted to call a family member in another state, there's apps out there such as WhatsApp and Skype that are what? Free. So Friedman's right analogy of the world going from medium to small to tiny, this is the best example. We used to purchase calling cards to communicate. Now we went from calling cards to a small amount to communicating for free. Now, speaking of the internet, the dot com generation that disrupted the country from continuing to savage from small to tiny, right? Due to globalization, the world was forced to truly focus on different elements reaching the next breakthrough, introducing what? Technology. Let's think about the development of Microsoft and Bill Gates for a second. The world went completely opposite when an influencer, just as Bill Gates, exported ingeniously. Now, when it comes to comparing our group's theory to impacting students like ourselves, perhaps, that are out there searching for jobs, the world is flat. And of course, it has its pros and cons. Viewing the positive from a whole, that is what we have. We have an entire, never ending access to the internet when it comes to job search. I would love to ask our grandparents and great great grandparents what was their strategy for finding a job. Because of the internet, right? One can decide to move to another country, or their spouse is relocated to another country, and the easy access of the internet will allow them the access to find positions and search for available positions in other parts of the country, in other states, in other cities. One can also be curious and research if their preferred industry or their preferred career of choice is competitive as opposed to where they are as here as us as Americans, or according to that economy. This positive trend allows for a job seeker to know that the world is endless, and so are one's dreams. So continue to dream big, work for it, and make it happen. Now, on the flip side, because the internet and job search has so much access, there's also some downside. Sometimes too much access is not a great thing. Why? Because everyone, right, has access to it. Everyone is the exception to the rule. Now, certain positions are competitive and challenging more because there's so many competitors out there that are applying for the same position. This at times can become very discouraging for job seekers. Why? Because the competition is real. The possibility of being called for an interview is now harder to follow should there be more applicants that have the same qualifications as you. So, therefore, job seekers are forced to be creative, right? When it comes to their job seeking process to assure that they are noticed and provided an opportunity for the second steps of the interview process. The next element I would like to discuss is what can students do to prepare themselves for competing in a flat world? As Bill Gates noted in an analysis found in Friedman's book, which quote unquote is today, you rather be a genius in Shanghai rather than be a B student in Poughkeepsie, New York, because you can now spread your talent globally to any corner of the world. To achieve student preparation, students and their families must consider the educational investment, one that is known as STEM, STEM, at a very early age in education. STEM is the acronym for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Now, since 2006, the STEM program has been an educational trend here in the United States and really serving as a crucial element for students to prepare for the rapid, evolving future growth in this economy. According to a study that involved the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Bureau of Labor, statistics show that those students enrolled in a STEM program are more inclined to, one, not only find jobs faster, so the competition, right, is diminished or lessened, but also make more money in their career in the long run. This evolving, trendy program is becoming to be more and more competitive as the years go by. Overall speaking, qualifies and trends that are taking place, this may hold the same value tomorrow. While English is considered, right, a second language for many other countries or many other international partners, it's critical to understand that the competition is running its course right behind us here in the United States. As Americans, it's our duty to rise above the flat worlds and continue our work to be competitive. Lastly, I want to share with you some existing flatteners not listed in Friedman's list, such as social media, automation, and free renewable energy. These all, or some of these, fall beneath the scope of global technology. These elements mentioned support the rising force behind how consumers, businesses, and organizations prosper their business through social media. The internet, as we know, exceeds in communicating to us, right? We can listen, see the news, right? Supporting politics, culture, the arts, local news, movies, all through digital platforms such as what? YouTube, podcasts, as Professor likes to mention during our weekly meetings, vlogs. These are all accessible to us, accessible as easy as our phones are. One doesn't need to sit on the couch and turn on the TV to capture the news. These digital marketing channels are utilized for Americans and always, always, always have no excuse to be in the know in the convenience of their own personal space and time. Technology, as we know, is rapidly moving. And in the means of communication, it's moving even faster than our fingertips. There are no more excuses for Americans to feel that the world is flat. The only flat thing here is the unwillingness to participate in the world that we live in today. Thank you.